But Paul Harris founded the first Rotary Club in 1905 with 3 clients. Very soon, Harris discerned a deeper purpose for Rotary, and he initiated its first public service project, construction of public toilets in Chicago. Now, as a leader who deals with messy subjects, as Andre described, and as someone who happens to love Chicago, I really appreciate this worthwhile endeavor. This step toward service transformed Rotary into the world's first service club. By the time of Harris's death at age 79, Rotary International had grown to more than 200,000 members in 75 countries. Rotary International currently has 1.2 million members worldwide. We are part of that number and that expansive global network of concerned, compassionate, and creative leaders who care, above all, about service. So, my point of consideration as inspiration today is, are we still Rotarians, and do we mean it? If so, how do we support and foster these beliefs and principles in the wider world? As a new member, I recently learned the answer to this, and it may surprise you. It's not through the dues that we pay for membership. The dues that we pay to belong to Rotary give us access to this global network of friendship, fellowship, community education, professional networking, delicious lunches, yes, which are all wonderful things. But today I just ask you respectfully, are we the Downtown Denver Lunch Group? No, we are Rotarians. We believe in local and global interdependence and exchange, and above all, we believe in service. The way that we support the good work that Rotary does in the world outside these walls is by supporting our 2 foundations. The Denver Rotary Club Foundation and the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. These 2 foundations are truly the foundation upon which each of us stands, if we are Rotarians and if we mean it. So, my step towards service today is making my $100 donation to each of our 2 foundations, the Rotary Foundation, Rotary International, and the Denver Rotary Club Foundation. Because I care deeply about my local community, because I refuse to let acts of destruction, disconnection, disaster, and death, like those the terrorist acts last week, win the day. Building goodwill and humanitarianism locally, internationally, and funding good work in both, I believe, are truly the antidote to terror. So again, Rotarians, we were made for times like these. Please consider fulfilling your call to local and global service as Rotarians by supporting both of our foundations with a minimum gift of $100. The world desperately needs this investment that only you can make.
Wow, so powerful. We have awesome Rotarians. Enjoy your lunch. We're very fortunate. Our speaker's plane got delayed in Chicago, so he won't make it. And instead, we're going to have Anton and Don Lewis speak to us. So we are the winners for it. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back to you soon.
And you know, women love us so much that we have named some of their favorite things after us, such as menopause, menstruation, mental illness. And speaking of mental illness, you know, there are some great articles that Chuck has put on your tables from the Wall Street Journal. At your table, we're going to have some further discussion on it in a moment. But it is truly a great topic that Rotary is getting involved in the discussion of. And to tell us a little bit more about what is going on, our favorite realtor, well, we have a lot of favorite realtors in the club, but you know, it's today to speak to us about the secretary's report. Our secretary has resigned from the club rather abruptly, so we are looking for a new secretary, and we will we'll announce the appointment of the new secretary hopefully by this week. So filling in for today, one of our favorite residential realtors, Nancy Austin.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Rotary. Don't we just love Soup Day? And I don't know about it being National Men's Day, but whatever. Okay, so we have some great guests with us today. And they're all prospective new members. We've got to love that. We have Tim Lewis, who is with Peg Johnson. Tim is a financial advisor with GWS&A. Tim, welcome. Matt Ward is a guest of Jim Johnston, and he is also a prospective new member. He is a general contractor within the commercial business, and the name of his company is Inward Charles Construction. It's the day for financial advisors. Sean Hagerman is sponsored by Lynn Dawson. He's another financial advisor. Welcome. Brian Kale is with Bob Heiserman. He's a financial advisor with Merrill Lynch. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining us. I think you'll enjoy the day, and hope you decide to make this your home for Rotary. I have several announcements, so bear with me a little bit. A State of the State announcement. On the tables today are a limited number of copies of an article from the Wall Street Journal that features Catherine Switz, our upcoming speaker on December the 10th for the Rotary State of the State Luncheon at the DTC Hyatt. Catherine and Governor Hickenlooper will be the featured speakers for the theme of the day and will be using the power of Rotary to increase mental health awareness and wellness. Over 25 mental health agencies will have booths at the Hyatt from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., all for the purpose of connecting with attending Rotarians and their clubs. We expect this to be one of the largest mental health events in Colorado history, and our club has played a key role in making this happen. Nearly 4 years ago, 4 members of our club began to meet and brainstorm about how the power of Rotary could be harnessed to help increase mental health awareness and to reduce the stigma of mental illness. The effort blossomed to become the Rotary Mental Health Initiative and was very quickly a multi-club project, not just Club 31. Our club will not be meeting at the DAC that day. Rather, the State of the State Luncheon will be our meeting location. We urge you to sign up today. See Lauren, Chuck Everell, Seth Patterson, R.J. Ross, or Jenny Stith after the meeting to get signed up. Of course, you can go to the Club 31 website and sign up as well, but do not sign up through the district. Over the last several years, our club has had a number of Colorado mental health leaders speak at our meetings. We strongly believe this is an important mission for Rotary in our community. Please sign up and show our club's support for this effort. You are also going to see that it will be an outstanding program. Some more announcements. Don't forget to make your reservations for A Gentleman's Guide for Love and Murder at the Denver Center for Performing Arts on Friday evening, February the 26th. Reservations are now open on DACDB, but they're going to close on December the 31st, so you need to make your reservations now. Some dates we want you to save on your calendar. December 3rd is Guest Day. Bring as many potential new members as you can to introduce them to the many exciting things we are doing at Club 31. Our speaker of the day will be DU Chancellor Rebecca Chop. The annual Denver Rotary Family Holiday Party is going to be on December the 17th. That's always fun. RI President's Dinner and Polio Plus fundraiser with RI President Ravi Ravindan. I didn't do that well. On Saturday evening, January the 9th. This will be in lieu of our club meeting on January the 7th. Senator Alan Simpson will be speaking to our club on Tuesday, January the 12th. So our meeting will not be on Thursday that week. Don't come here on Thursday the 14th. Be sure and come on the same week, but come on Tuesday the 12th. More information will follow. All these reservations will be required, and you can book through the club, and be sure to be looking for your event registration email. Some Family of Rotary news. Past club president Grant Wilkins just had a successful tracheotomy to help with his breathing from complications due to his chemo radiation. Please keep Marlene and Grant in your thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. Take a look at all the birthitarians, and we wish everybody a happy birthday. Would the birthitarians please stand and be recognized? Happy birthday. Enjoy the rest of the week, and hopefully the Broncos will not disappoint us this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Carol Duncan, please stand up. Carol, where are you? Make some noise. Well, Carol Duncan is our other great realtor, and this morning she has conducted our new member orientation. So, Carol, thanks for taking that on. She's the peach of the Duncan team. So, very, very briefly, I want to thank all of you that participated in Saturday's Dancing through the decades. I don't think that Valerie and Allison are in the room, but they have truly done an outstanding job. Early results is that we probably raised about $50,000 just from the paddle raise and from the auction. So congratulations to all. Tell you what, it was so great that you truly had to muscle your way into the dance floor if you wanted to dance. It was fabulous. It was a great event. Now, the chair of the Rotary Foundation, Don, what is your title? So, to talk to us about our challenge with Boulder.
I am the Rotary Foundation floor sweep.
Rotary Foundation floor sweep, Don Lewis. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. We have a competition going with the Boulder Rotary Club. There are two big clubs in Colorado. One is the Boulder Club, downtown club, and the other one is us. We are competing to see who can have the highest percentage of contributors to the Rotary Foundation as of December 31, 2015. That's the end of the calendar year, and the stakes are a case of beer for the president. However, that's good for Andre, but more importantly, we acquire bragging rights, and we avoid humility if we win this competition with Boulder. We will never hear the end of it if they win. But there are, incentives to give at least $100 to the Rotary Foundation before December 31. The good it will do around the world is important. If you look at the brochures at your table, you'll see that $100 buys 10 mosquito nets, for example, that is used in the malaria prevention program. And there are other examples of how $100 can do so much. You'll be helping our club meet our annual fund goal of $52,530 and our Polio Plus goal of $8,000 during this fiscal year. And in fact, the competition is a win-win for both clubs because both clubs will improve our level of participation by Rotarians in giving to the Rotary Foundation. We've added a little incentive as well within our club. Our club will give matching points for every $100 given between October 1 and December 31 of this year, so that you will make further progress toward Paul Harris Fellow and multiple Paul Harris Fellow awards. You have the brochure in front of you. We have a gift table over here under balloons to answer any questions you have. So please give today. Andre will enjoy the beer, and we will enjoy bragging that we won. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And yes, great cause. And World Community Service. to tell us a little bit about it, we're going to have two people come to us. And Paul Jones is retired after 40 years with Deloitte. Now he volunteers for the Rockies. I don't know what that organization does, and they try to do something. God willing, they will show up this year. Susan Brashaber is one of her greatest claims to fame is that she's married to an Argentinian. And but she also, if you need help with international law, Susan is the person you want to see. So to tell us about World Community Service, Susan and Paul.
Thank you, President Andre, and thank you, Club 31, for your generous contributions to the Denver Rotary Club Foundation. And in turn, thank you to the Denver Rotary Foundation for its support of the committee's work through its annual grant. Every year, the foundation provides the committee with an annual grant of funding to allow us to carry out our mission. As I hope you know, the mission of the World Community Service Committee is to support humanitarian projects throughout the developing world. We carry out our mission through collaboration with other Rotary clubs. In some cases, as Paul will describe for you, we serve as the lead club. In others, we offer financial support. In all cases, Denver Rotary Foundation support is instrumental, as Paul will explain. Rotary projects focus on 5 areas: water and sanitation, peace and conflict resolution, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and economic and community development. So far this year, the committee, with Denver Rotary Foundation funds, is supporting a maternal health project in Nepal, the King George School for the Deaf in Zimbabwe, Project Cure in Kenya, kidney dialysis treatment centers in rural India, literacy in Guatemala, and agricultural projects in Rwanda and Bosnia, among many others. And now, since I have a few extra minutes, I'm told, I'm just going to put a plug in for the World Community Service Committee. We meet the second Tuesday of the month at 7:30 at 1900 Grant Street. And if you truly want to be inspired, I invite you to come to one of our committee meetings and sign up as a member after that, and I hope you'll keep coming. When I remember my earliest days when I first joined Rotary and I started going to the World Community Service Committee meetings, I thought, well, this is why I joined Rotary. People are doing amazing things all over the world. And once you get involved in a project, you feel that you're part of something bigger than yourself. And you're also, as our inspirational moment speaker, Jennifer, adeptly noted, you're in community with people from all over the world, and you are being part of something where you're truly making a difference and bettering the lives of others. And Paul's going to tell you a little bit more about how we do that.
Thank you, Susan. She didn't mention that we meet at 7:30 in the morning, so you may need a nap later that day, but it is a great inspirational moment to be there with this group of folks. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about some examples of projects that we've funded or been involved in. I did want to note on this one that was completed in 2014, we partnered with Project Cure, and some of the monies that we donated were put together with other clubs and other NGOs, including Project Cure. And I just wanted to note at the bottom there the size of this particular grant, getting to about $700,000. Most of our projects are a little bit less than that, but they require 3 things. Susan talked about the 5 areas that we have to follow from Rotary International. But in order to qualify for a global grant, there are 3 things that the project needs to have. 1, it must have a local club. Must have a club with feet on the ground that can manage and oversee the project after we leave. The second is Rotary signage. So I'm giving you an example here of the meeting that took place where the Rotary signage was in full view. Sometimes it's T-shirts, sometimes it's signs on the side of a truck, but it is required to meet the funds. This is a project that we put together in Burkina Faso, Western Africa. It was brought to the committee by Club 31 Rotarian Bill Korstead. It's been in progress and finished. I just want to note here for you that the grant from Rotary Club 31, which came from foundation funds, was $10,000. By the time we partnered with other local clubs here in Colorado and with the Rotary Foundation, the district funds that were also allocated for this project, and because it qualified as a global project, we also got funds from Rotary International. We multiplied our funds by 9 times. So we went from $10,000 to $100,000 for this project. That's the beauty of the way Rotary operates for these global projects. So it's the little bit of money that we think we put forward multiplies over and over again for these world projects. The third area that has to be in a global grant is sustainability. That means when we go away, the well that we put in place here so people could have clean drinking water can't go down because a part is missing and nobody knows how to fix it. So we have to have not only the local club, but people involved in all of these projects that can maintain them going forward. Not an easy task, I might add. This is a poster child for the projects that we've done here at Club 31. This is the Bosnian Girls Education Project. This not only educated girls that were denied an education in this part of Bosnia, but it also addressed a terrible issue of illegal female trafficking in that area of the world. It was brought to the club by Club 31 member Felicia Mumford. She actually was one of the feet on the ground, along with other folks from Rotary, in Bosnia to kick this project off. It's still in place today, and it is actually being piggybacked on by a club in Ojai, California, that came to us to ask us for some funds to help kick off another project around Bosnia in the same vein. So we continue to multiply our funds and multiply these projects as we go forward. These are the areas of the world that Club 31 touches. Each one of these balloons are projects that we've been involved in many cases being the lead club. So as you can see, we've got a real footprint around the world for these projects. As Susan said, our task, our charter, is to deal with global projects as opposed to local projects and U.S.-based projects. The impact is huge on these projects. As you can see, and as I've discussed, we partner with a lot of different organizations, not just Rotary, to be able to bring these to bear. There are hundreds of Rotarians involved and hundreds of hours involved in putting these projects together and getting them kicked off in the locations that we service. The example of some of these partnerships, as you can see here, we list a number of them, but I want to point out one, which is with the Peace Corps. Again, a Club 31 Rotarian, Sue Fox, is our liaison with the Peace Corps, and we've been involved in a number of projects with them over the years. If you haven't caught the theme of this yet, it is that the Rotary Foundation is the source of our funds. Without Rotary Foundation funds to get us started each year, none of these projects would take place. We wouldn't even be in the game. So we're working on a number of projects for this fiscal year, one with DaVita, a local home office organization for kidney dialysis equipment overseas, and a number of other projects that are coming forward with us being the lead club for the global grant. But again, I just want to recognize that the foundation, your donation to the foundation, is what gets these projects done. So the next time your friends, family, or business associates say, so what exactly does Rotary do? You've got a lot of things to be proud of and a lot of things to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was awesome. You know, Jenny truly said it so beautifully in our inspirational moment. And a long, long time ago in a land far, far away, when I was her age, if I had written 2 checks for $100, it was like, what do I have to give up to be able to do this? And I don't know if she's in the same situation, but I'm sure it's a sacrifice, and I applaud you for that. But here is how you see what the international side of the money is doing for us. We do have our cohorts, and the cohorts is the younger Rotarians that are joining, that by one of them joining the club, they reduced the average age of our club by about 20 years. So Lucas Marquardt is one of them, and he is here today to introduce a new cohort. Now, if you have a small business and you need a finance guru, Lucas is your man. So Lucas, the mic is yours.
I guess the mic is mine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brett Hart. I'm a new Rotarian, and I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. Everyone's been so welcoming, and I really look forward to serving with everybody. Especially thanks to Mark and to Lucas for including me in some of the early events and getting me excited about this opportunity. A little bit about myself. I've called Denver home for the past 3.5 years. My wife and I were welcomed here through a career opportunity with FIS Global, a big back-end company that's a leading provider of technology services working with financial institutions. So I'm a sales executive within a subset of products that they offer. Prior to my current role, I was obtaining my Master's of Business Administration at Arizona State University. While there, I knew it wasn't going to be a permanent place for me. If you've ever been there in the summer, it's way too hot. So I was still able to get involved with the community there, and I served as the president of the ASU Volunteer Council, where we were heavily involved with a lot of organizations locally in the Phoenix community and able to really make a difference for a lot of them. So it was a great opportunity to serve while I was there. Prior to that, from a service standpoint, I was the philanthropy chair for my fraternity way back when I was at the University of Idaho for my undergrad. Hailing originally from Idaho, in my free time you can find me up in the mountains, skiing, fly fishing, or biking. I'm always open to attend any professional sporting event anytime, anywhere, including rugby. And go Broncos. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our club. And I do have here a pin and a folder to present to you. And be a great Rotarian. Live by our 4-way test. We will have it on the screen very shortly at the end. Please read it carefully, because today is going to be a little different. Welcome to the club. The woman I want to grow up to be. Did I say that on National Men's Day? But the vitality and energy that Ann Tull brings to her job as district chair of our Rotary Foundation is truly enviable. So let's give our full attention to Ann as she enlightens us on the great work that they're doing in the district.
Thank you, Andre. It's always a pleasure to visit your club, and it's an honor to be up here in front of you today. I hope that all of you heard that John Osterlund is not going to be with us today, so I've expanded the introduction I was going to give for him a little bit, and then Don Lewis and I kind of agreed that I would talk a little bit about some other things, not for very long though. So this is what I was going to say to introduce John, and I want to read it to you so that you know what we're missing and what he has done for us. Having John Osterlund visit this club in this district is very special. The keyway included his history, including his Rotary history. He started out as an ambassadorial scholar with Rotary years ago, and his current position is General Manager and Chief Development Officer. This is for the entire world. So I believe in the scheme of things, I wasn't able to verify this, that he's number 2 under John Hugo for paid staff in Evanston. I want to share with you what John has done for this club and for our district. With the assistance of Grant Wilkins, in 1985, 86, 87, Temple Hoyne Buell endowed a scholarship for architectural students to study overseas. And this started out as a $150,000 donation. It has funded at this point 14 scholars under the old system before the Future Vision new global grant thing came together. When that started, was going to start in 2013, the Temple Buell Scholarship did not fit as a global grant. So John worked very hard on helping us, work with Susan Steele. And Susan, please stand. Susan's here. She's the Executive Secretary of the Buell Foundation. And John and Susan worked very hard to save this scholarship in some manner. At this point, as I said, there had been 14 scholars who had gone somewhere to study around the world. So because of that new structure, we had to reestablish a whole new way of doing the grants and funding the grants. John worked with your club, as I said, first, and then with Susan, and then with the whole district for us to be able to save this. And I do mean save it, because otherwise we could have lost that funding that had gone into the endowment. We right now have our 15th scholar going to Thailand. He was here a few months ago, Trevor Clifford. Hopefully some of you met him. And he's a wonderful young man. He will be our 15th, or is our 15th scholar under the new system. And what started out as a $150,000 endowment in 1987 was when it was fully funded. It has sent 15 people around the world to study. And the corpus of that money right now is amazing. Listen to this very carefully. From $150,000, it is now $499,228. And I think it's real amazing proof of what Rotary does with investing money that is given for scholarships or for anything else that we do with them. I just am amazed to get that number. The continuation of this amazing gift is because of the commitment of several people. And on top of this list to me are Susan Steele and John Osterlin, and I'm sorry John isn't here today to hear me say this, because we all worked hard on this project. So that was going to be my introduction of John, and then Don has asked me to say a few other things. First of all, on the Temple Buell Scholarship, Phil Gettert from your club is the chair. Carl Berg has been involved with this committee for a long time and still serves on the committee. We will be interviewing 5 candidates this Saturday to hopefully choose one to be our next Temple Buell Scholar starting in the Rotary year 2016. So that's, I think, very exciting to continue this to go on, and your club should be very proud that you started this and have been so involved over the years. I also want to mention that we do have 2 ambassadorial scholarships that the district funds. And we do those as global grants so that we put in half the money and Rotary Foundation puts in the other half of the money for those. When Future Vision started in 2013, Rotary International did away with the ambassadorial scholarships. They've meant a lot to this district over the years, and we wanted to continue them. So we call them district ambassadorial scholarships, and we'll be interviewing for those on December 5th. We have 2 that we fund every year. We actually have 3 this year because one of the candidates did not work out with her subjects and what she wanted to study. So we may or may not choose all 3 or fill all 3, but it's exciting that we have that opportunity. And the one other thing I want to mention is, again, the President's Dinner was already mentioned for January 9th. Somebody said to me, you know, those dinners are only for like officers and presidents and people involved with the district. And that isn't true at all. Each of you should have that opportunity and should attend to meet our president of the Rotary International in the world. And it's a wonderful time to be able to go do that. And so I hope you'll really participate. This year, the profits will go to polio. where they will be tripled by the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. We are also asking anybody who is going to sign up for the dinner to give some extra money for polio if you're willing to do that. And you can do that even if you're not going to the dinner. You can always donate to polio. And the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation will also have somebody speaking at that dinner February 9th. So I think that's going to be thrilling to be able to have a representative from them to share with us. So the foundation is for Rotary International is a large group of different topics, different subjects, different chairs, different things. We do most of the fundraising, but we also do most of the fund spending. So hopefully you will learn more about it, and I'm always happy to talk with anybody or share any of your ideas. So thank you so much for letting me have these few minutes, and Don is going to continue.
John expresses his regret for not being able to be here today. He asked for a rain check and is looking forward to visiting our club in the future and filling us in more. He did supply his slides today, and to me they were very enlightening and sort of integrates everything into one package. Here we see the 2014-15 contributions. At the top line is the annual fund, and the goal for the entire foundation this year was $123 million. That's $123 million. The annual fund is the backbone of the Rotary Foundation. It funds the district grants, which come back to us, and it also funds global grants and some Polio Plus projects. So it's a vital part of the Rotary Foundation. We also raised $29 million for Polio Plus, and $20 million went into the endowment fund, which ensures the ongoing funding of programs for the Rotary International and our club. That results in total contributions of $199 million, plus a $70 million match from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's a record-setting year for us. I think we deserve a little applause there. This represents the first year that the foundation has reached its goal of $100 per capita for every Rotarian internationally. It's a great accomplishment. On this slide, I'd like for you to focus in the upper right-hand corner, the little yellow dot. And it shows our goal for 2015-16 of $130 million. So we are continually advancing the annual fund as we go through this. Now let me put a little bit of a face on that, a local face on that. Here we are, 2014 and 15, we raised a total of $97,000. $57,408 went to our annual fund, and we had an annual fund goal of $50,000, so we exceeded our goal. This year our goal is a modest increase of $52,530. So we are hopeful that we can continue to progress here. John points out his consciousness of our contribution in the global projects here. So he identified Bosnia, Zimbabwe, and Burkina Faso as vital projects, which is recognized in Chicago, recognized at our club, recognized in our district by everyone involved. John wanted to be sure that we were aware of Polio Plus. As of July 24th, Nigeria is polio-free for 1 year. 11 August, Africa is polio-free for 1 year. And 30 years, over $1.5 billion raised for polio. With the addition of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the contributions are tripled, and you can see the effect of $25, $100, and $1,000. It's wonderful. But once again, let me put a bit of a face on this. Recently in Chicago, Doctors Blair Gifford, our very own Blair Gifford, and his father, Ted Gifford, were recognized at a ceremony in Chicago. Ted Gifford donated $780,000 to Polio Plus. Blair Gifford is with us today. Blair, would you come up? Thank you, Blair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Don. About this time last year, my father and my mother met with me. My dad's 97, my mom's 92. And my dad's been very involved with Rotary. He was an international director at the same time Grant Wilkins was. He was district governor, club president. Rotary's always been in his heart. And he sat down, he said, I'd like to give a major donation to Rotary. And we talked about Alzheimer's and we talked about polio. As some of you know, I'm a professor of global health at the University of Colorado. And he decided he wanted to try to eradicate polio in his lifetime. And I thought that was a pretty noble goal. And so we sat down and he decided to do that. And here we are today making this major contribution. So on behalf of my father and the Gifford family, I'd just like to say thank you.
That's just wonderful. Warms your heart, huh? Well, let me go on to something that's relatively new in Rotary that we should know about. Rotary has a global rewards program. And basically, there are over 600 offers to Rotary members now for discounts and other benefits as a result of being a Rotary member. If you register as a Rotarian on the international website under myrotary.org, you can then access all of these awards. For example, Hertz has a 15% discount on rental cars, and a little bit of money will come back to the Rotary Foundation if you use Hertz. Over 600 kinds of offers like that once you begin to investigate it. Amazon, for example, has a program where if you punch the right button, Rotary Foundation will benefit. So it's a great benefit. It's not widely known. I've been in it and have taken advantage of it and would recommend that you do that as well. You know, it's hard to believe that the Rotary Foundation is 98 years old. The Rotary Foundation has been out there doing good for 98 years. And so, as you might well imagine, we're headed towards the centennial celebration in Atlanta during the 2017 Rotary International Convention. We will build up to that as time goes on, but it's an exciting opportunity for us all to plan to attend Atlanta for the Rotary International Convention and celebrate the Rotary Foundation at that time. So that's the Rotary Foundation. The one thing I wanted to mention as well is our dollars are used very efficiently and multiplied, as we've heard from the World Community Service Committee over and over again. Our foundation has about 92% of its dollars go into programs. It has a fantastic efficiency there, and it's been recognized by several different charity rating agencies as well, like Charity Navigator with a 4-star rating. So, as I mentioned earlier, the floor sweep has been up here, sweeping up for the Rotary Foundation. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to your support of the foundation.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Don. It's wonderful. You know, ISIS is trying to change the world through hatred. Rotary is trying to change it through love. And this is the work that we see. So it's wonderful.
And Brett and Lucas, if the two of you wants to start walking towards the door so you can greet Rotary, so they can greet you on the way out. Anybody here reads that newspaper of huge gravitas called The Onion? Yes? So The Onion this week had a color picture of Peyton Manning coming to the field with a service dog, so it could help him see the open player. So Pelham does have a future as a quarter dog. Now, no meeting next week because of Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a national holiday of football and beer and family and fun and saying thanks for all the great things in the world. And I want to inform you that at Denver Rotary, we're starting a revolution. And we're going to change the four-way test. So if you could all please rise and join me in the pledge of the four-way test that is behind me on the screen that was sent to us by Rich Harris. Let's read it together. I can't read it, so you read it. Happy Thanksgiving. Meeting adjourned.